Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Nerdscapades. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jess.
If this is your first time here, we kind of go through all things nerdy. We're still pretty much starting out.
We've already talked about the Tolkien movie. Go see it.
Yeah.
It was very long. Sorry.
But today's episode, we are going over X-Men and their place in the MCU and what their kind of roster is going to look like. Or, not actually, but what I think their roster should look like. With the upcoming movies, where we're at in the whole MCU multiverse, there's a whole bunch of different universes that are popping up. And I think it's the perfect time for them to start adding in mutants.
I'm just going to say that I know nothing going into this conversation. Like, I've seen the X-Men movies, and for the most part, I make sense of them, but I know absolutely nothing about X-Men, so.
We're going to be making videos. I'm going to make her watch the What If series. She has not done it yet. So that'll make a whole lot more sense. But that opened up a whole world of different universes. And then there's going to be Spider-Man Far From Home, where he's going to make even more universes. And then there's Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. But this is my fan theory of what I want in the MCU.
What you're hoping to get out of it.
What I'm hoping to get. So,
Okay.
characters I'm hoping to get.
Okay.
Starting off, team lead for this one, I'm going to say Storm.
Storm. Okay. I'm going to insert a picture of Storm somewhere.
She has been the lead in the field. A lot of people think it's only Cyclops. He's usually the one that's in charge. But there's been plenty of times where she's taken the lead.
Okay.
She has super strong powers, controls the weather.
Right.
She's immune to lightning, so there might be some fun kind of back and forth between her and Thor if they do those kinds of scenes.
What?
Yeah. Interesting fact, in some of the most recent, semi-recent stories, Volume 418 of Black Panther, she actually married Black Panther in the comics.
What?
Yeah, so she was the Queen of Wakanda for a little while.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
With all of this stuff going on, with Chadwick Boseman passing away, adding her into the whole storyline and him being gone, that could be a pretty good plot point.
Do they just ignore the he had his love interest and everything. So
so she's from a different
universe.
Okay. So that's how they kind of get around that.
I have to wrap my head around all this. They just cheat over and over again. They're like, forget everything you just saw. We're starting over.
Pretty much.
Except we're not, because we're still going to honor Black Panther.
Yes.
That actor. Maybe.
That's my hope. Next, in the roster, I'm going to have Nightcrawler.
Okay.
So he's been in quite a few of them. His main power is teleportation. He goes back and forth between the brimstone dimension and real dimensions.
Okay.
That's kind of how he goes from place to place.
Brimstone dimension. Is that like fire and...
Yeah, so he's a mutant, kind of demon.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
So you remember Azazel, the red one from X-Men First Class. He teleports, he's red.
Yes.
Tail. Yeah. Nightcrawler is the son of Azazel and Mystique.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really confused. I'm like, there's only one guy that I remember teleporting.
The blue one. That's Nightcrawler. He's in X2. He is in some of the most recent X-Men movies as well. It's a younger character. But he's really cool. He's a really fun character. He's really lighthearted, so I feel like he'd make a good fit into the MCU's kind of how they put all of their characters.
Okay.
Interesting plot point in another universe aside from the main universe.
Okay.
He actually has a relationship with Scarlet Witch, and they had a kid, Wanda and Vision.
Yes.
Wanda is Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a kid together.
Okay.
kid's name is Nocturne.
Mm.
And yeah, kind of fun to play on things. That kid actually goes, she's part of a team that goes from universe to universe to try and correct different things.
Okay.
So they might even bring her in. That would be kind of cool. After that, I have Beast.
Beast.
I feel like he'd be really good. He's super smart, he's fast, strong, good player for a lot of different things that the MCU might throw at them. He's also one of the original X-Men, so that's super cool. Kind of going back to the originals there.
Right.
He is an outspoken advocate for mutants and their place among society. He's usually portrayed as being with politicians and stuff like that.
Right.
He's really outspoken, and with how the MCU's brought together, like the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff, I feel like he'd be a really good character to advocate for mutants and other superheroes in a world that's already scared of superheroes. Next in line, I have Iceman.
Iceman. I remember him.
Yeah.
Okay.
They really underplayed him in all of the
It seemed like it. He was really kind of a wimp.
Yeah.
It seemed like
so he's actually
pushover.
He's classified as what they call an Omega level mutant, which there's only a few of those. Storm's one of them, Jean Grey,
Right.
Magneto. Like limitless power to their superpowers. Like,
Okay.
if they keep training, they can just keep getting better and better.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
he's like super powerful,
Okay.
and they don't go into any of that in the movies. I feel like that's really
Yeah,
bad
that's
for his
interesting.
character.
I didn't know that at all. I thought he could make flowers in his hand.
So, well, he can't do that, but he can also like cover the entire Empire State Building in ice and like do a bunch of cool stuff. There is a storyline in the comics where Loki abducts him
Okay.
and tries to use him in efforts to take over the Frost Giants.
What?
Yeah.
How far does that get?
It gets pretty decent, but when Loki does that, he kind of like manipulates his powers and stuff and makes him kind of go out of control, and then they have to do a bunch of stuff to like dampen his powers because he gets too powerful.
So, like, he can't control it anymore?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But he gets saved by Thor, and Thor helps him get back to Earth. So that'd be
Thor.
Cool. With
Every
all
time.
that stuff. Next one in line is Kitty Pryde.
Okay.
She's the one that can walk through walls.
Right.
Technical term for her powers is intangibility.
Okay.
I just
So
thought-
she can become, like, matter is not something. She's, like, not matter, basically.
Kinda, yeah.
She-
So like Vision, how he can like go through walls and all that
Right.
stuff. She can do the same thing. Something that is interesting in the comics, she was a part of Guardians of the Galaxy for a while, and she was engaged to Star-Lord.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Super weird.
It's all so connected, and I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. So that'd be a good plot point that they could add in there, especially since I don't know what they're gonna be doing with Gamora since Thanos sacrificed her.
Right.
Spoiler.
They should have seen it by
Yeah,
now.
by now.
I would assume.
If you haven't, go see all of the Marvel movies. They're very good.
Yes. Even if you can't place them anywhere on the timeline because you're slow.
I think last real team member that I have written down is Forge.
Forge.
Forge. He hasn't been in any of the movies. He was in
Fire related?
No. So his main power is kind of super intelligence and inventing ability, usually used for creating weapons.
That makes sense.
Tony Stark is no longer in the picture.
I feel like
They're
you've told
kind
me
of-
about this guy before.
I might have. They're kind of lacking in that department in the MCU for
They need
super
someone
smart guy that
to.
knows how to make everything.
What happened to Hulk?
Well, I mean, he tried, but like he couldn't do like the timeline stuff. So he does that. He's also a Native American and trained in magic by a shaman. so he could probably go kind of toe-to-toe with Doctor Strange a little bit.
Okay.
Interesting fact is he had a romantic entanglement with Storm for a while.
Was that in the same universe as her being married to Black Panther?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Can't remember exactly.
Fair.
But it kind of got messed up because, like, in his weapon building that he does, he gets contracted through the government a lot, and the government made him make a anti-mutant gun, and they kind of went rogue and shot Storm and stole all of her powers.
Nice.
And so then he, like, tried nursing her back to health. That's when they fell in love. But then Storm found out that he's the one that made the gun, and then she got mad and broke up with him.
I thought you were going to say, and everything froze over.
No. But then he was able to figure out another way to get her powers back and all that stuff. So I think that would be really cool. But I think that would be a really good team.
So I have a question, though. You are making it sound like the multiverse of madness is going to be only people who can go through different realms.
See, we don't know.
Because, like, usually what they do is they only have, like, 1 or 2 characters who can manipulate time, and then the rest of them are normies.
See,
Superheroes.
What we're thinking hasn't been confirmed anywhere.
Okay.
But we're thinking, since it's the multiverse of madness, there's going to be a whole bunch of universes that are kind of fracturing and, like,
breaking up.
There's something, and it gets all crazy.
Glitchy.
And so then at the end of the movie, there might be a couple universes that get displaced and get shoved into our current universe.
Okay.
So, like, being able to bring in mutants into our universe, and then bringing in, like, the Fantastic Four also.
Would they ever pull in DC characters?
No. Not in...
I mean, that would be so cool.
It would. In the past, this whole other discussion, they did a whole thing. But that was just in comic books. Now that it's all owned by Disney and Warner Bros., that's not gonna...
So I vaguely remember seeing something about them colliding, but maybe I was just looking into that storyline.
Lastly, obviously, we're gonna have Professor X.
Yay!
You have to.
He's gonna come back?
Team. I don't know.
Or he never died.
I don't know.
But didn't he die to, like, rectify the whole world one time already?
I mean, why not do it again?
Young Professor X, maybe.
Maybe. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's probably going to be a whole new casting because it's all coming into Disney.
I'm not ready. Disney does a great job. They really do. I'm always impressed with them, but I'm never completely over the classic ones that I saw growing up, and I'm just like, I miss them.
And so then that brings in my next point that I was going to bring up. The ones we aren't going to see.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see Wolverine.
Oh, no.
Because even if they recast him, it's just not going to be the same.
No.
And I just don't think they have a good way of handling that right now.
Lose its quality. And I don't think he would do... I don't think Hugh Jackman would do that.
No, he's getting too old for it, doing other things.
Yeah. He left it at a good time. It's good.
Next, Cyclops and Jean Grey.
Okay.
I think we've had enough of their storyline. We've seen them a lot. They're really good X-Men. I love them. But I think they've done enough of the Phoenix Saga. There's so many other X-Men characters. Give them a shot. There's a lot of really cool ones. So I feel like getting rid of that whole, like, love triangle, even though it is a pivotal point, there are times where they are not around, and those are good storylines as well.
Yeah.
So those are all of my main points about this. If you guys have a better roster, put it in the comments. If you guys think my roster is complete baloney, tell me about it.
I mean, I don't know enough to say whether your roster is good or not, but it made sense. I will say it made sense, especially if they do have all the different people.
If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Little positive reinforcement there. Yes, leave comments.
Yes. Awesome.
We appreciate it.
Well, thanks again for joining us.
Bye.